Hi. I just want to say that I heard about this particular conference, I don't know, a year ago, is it possible? The title of this conference a year ago, and I already signed up a year ago because this was the conference for me. I have been thinking and making work about and writing about ideas of citizenship and belonging for a very long time, like obviously lots of people, but I knew this was the one I had to come to out of all of Switch. And then, happily, Wayne actually invited me to come. I was going to come anyway. Wayne invited me to come and to present on the topic. And even from the very beginning, I wanted to bring this artwork called Europe the Game here. Europe the Game was made in the early 2000s. I can't tell you exactly when because it was, because I can't remember. But it took a number of years to do it, and it was made in specifically in reference to the concepts that were around at the time called about Fortress Europe, where Europe was imagining itself or building borders, imaginary or actual, between Europe and other. Now, since the early 2000s, the questions raised in Europe the Game have become even more pertinent or resurrected themselves, or however you want to put it, but this has not been laid to rest, which is why I very much wanted to come here and bring it today. I'm going to tell you the rules in just a second, and so we're going to play the game, and for the last 5 minutes of my session I want to do some talking as well, but at first we're going to start playing. I just want to explain also another thing that I was trying to do with the Europe the Game, the artwork, was to move the idea at the time, and probably even current, paintings are seen as static or commodities or whatever. I wanted to push the idea that paintings or any object is actually relational, and really pushing it by making it a game. So that is also an objective in this particular artwork, is to push beyond simply understanding commodities, artworks as commodities or objects that are mute or part of, anyway, so I just wanted to kind of highlight that fact. Okay, so for the game, you will see we have a frame here, and we have 54 pieces. So everybody can take a piece and choose whether your piece can fit within the frame. Now this is about representation, obviously. These are oil paintings of landscapes of Europe. All of them are European. It's up to you whether you decide that they are actually deserving of being in the frame of Europe, which can take, normally it's a 6x6 frame, so it can take 36. That proportion didn't work here, so it's 7x5, so 35. This frame can take 35 pieces. There are 54. I'm asking you to choose which 35 go in the frame. So for everybody, really everybody, this is participatory. We just heard about how we're doing it. This is participatory. Everybody, I would like you to select one of the tiles, the oil paintings of landscapes, bird's eye view landscapes, and pop them in. If you are not very able-bodied, please direct somebody who looks fitter to do it for you. Do your bidding. We'll see how this works. But the whole idea is that everybody here is making a choice, a decision. So there's 2 boxes here, 1 box there. This is the frame.
Ja, misschien ja.
I would like to encourage you to stand around and defend your choice. If somebody starts taking out what you think belongs in.
But all of it is green. It's just too much green.
It's too much green.
And there's still a bit of
You can move others to get access if you want, or you can just throw however.
Here, you think? In the middle? Or here? Ah, sorry.
Yeah, so you can also make decisions about what is centrally European, what's marginally European. Remember room, feel free to take out something if you disagree. Also feel free to defend your choices. Say they're representative of a person, they're oil paintings. Is that how you treat things that are precious? I'm just asking. We don't even have everybody even included in the picture as a possibility yet.
Okay.
Or the frame of Europe.
I would like to put this one instead of this one. Is this the piece you put? This one. Yes? Okay. That was easy.
It looks too green. Exactly. Exactly.
It looks very Northern Europe.
The
Mediterranean, which is behind, over there.
Yeah?
The Mediterranean over there.
Okay, could you tell somebody and activate somebody to work for you? Now somebody wanted only the beautiful things in there. I don't know how much you agree on that.
Is there still too
or
much
whether we
green?
must have some ugly things in Europe as well.
There's too much snow. We don't have that much space. She said that they all come from Europe.
They are all Europe.
Yeah, but for me,
It's up to you. This is representations. What of these represent Europe? So, the reason I avoid cities is because usually when people claim, well, often when nations are represented, they are represented by their unique landscape rather than their unique cities. So I have chosen to go with what is,
Well,
yeah, of course.
Amsterdam, more people I think they know Amsterdam and marijuana and prostitutes than they know the flat landscape of Holland.
Yeah, it was a conscious choice to do so-called nature and not so-called culture. These are cultural representations of nature and what is natural. Specifically to talk about representations and representation of Europe, or naturalness in Europe. The reason why, in particular, I wanted to bring it to this conference is because it brings up another very important concept, which is curation. As we know, every single museum has many, many, many more objects from many, many, many more places than they can possibly put on show. This is every museum, every art gallery, every art museum, all the museums work like this. So there is always a choice in what is in the frame and what is left outside of the frame. I'm interested in this, performing this, because it's clear you're not going to satisfy everybody. There are people who are going to be left outside, views that are going to be left outside. It is always an accommodation, it is always a compromise. It is also always a negotiation. Am I too close? Yep. Yeah, sorry. It's also always a compromise between the various actors in who gets to represent and what is represented. So one of the other reasons why I was very keen to bring this artwork here is because I'm wondering whether museums could be more upfront, just as Europe the Game is upfront, about this being a contested space. The display, the out there, what's actually on display is contested. It is a compromise. It is the choices of certain people, of actual people. It's not a given, and it could change. So that's what I wanted to perform and to suggest perhaps this is another way of performing the museum.